Good time zone, Gen Friends, and welcome to CrossGen Friends, your gaming, pop culture, and tech podcast with a multi-generation point of view. I am Byron Miller, and with me, as always, is Joe LaRussa. How are you doing today, Joe?
I am doing not too badly today, Byron. Thank you for asking. It is a dreary, rainy day here in Rochester, New York, and I think it's still cold, but I haven't really checked the weather yet, other than the fact that it's raining. And it is the second day of spring, so happy second day of spring to you, my friend.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I am wonderful.
Good.
Anything you want to ask me?
I do have something to ask you. I just like to check in, I like to see how you're doing, little chit chat first. But what's your happy place this week?
So, yeah, it is depending on which stupid calendar you look at, it is either the first or second day of spring. I've always thought it was the 21st, but other people say it's not. I don't care. I just like that it's happening, and I love spring. It's probably my favorite season because everything that's dead is coming back to life. And yeah, but happy place this week, as alluded to last week, we had the AEW Revolution pay-per-view that was fantastic. I do hate that they're on Sunday nights because I have trouble staying awake for the entire thing when I have to go to work the next day. So I had to watch until I got very tired, and then I had to blind myself from the appropriate internet places for the next day until I had a chance to catch up and see what happens, because nobody likes spoilers. But it was a fantastic event. There were two matches that were rated 5 stars by the Defining Wrestling Journalism PWI group. So it was a very good event. It was a very good main event. One of the funny things was the guy who won the main event, and it's not a spoiler anymore. It's been a week, but Maxwell Jacob Freeman, who is from Long Island, New York, he plays a heel, a bad guy in wrestling. And one of the funny things about him is that he tries to keep what's called kayfabe in real life, which is pretending to be his character even when he interacts in the real world. Yeah. But he has trouble hiding it because he's also a huge Disney fan. And so, like, somebody caught a picture of him at Magic Kingdom about a year ago, and he had nasty things to say to whoever it was who posted that on Twitter or whatever. But he's even stopped hiding it. When they were in Orlando a few weeks ago, he appeared on one of the Disney podcasts, and he broke character many times talking about how much he loved Disney and Disney things. and at the end of the match, he did a backstage interview, and he said, just like any other great sports hero who has won a big championship, I'm going to Disney World. And sure enough, this week he was at frickin' Disney World. He posted a picture of him and his wife on Splash Mountain, and he's just having the time of his life with his arms up in the air, and it's just tagged Champ SH, etc., which keeping it clean for this podcast. So yeah, that was awesome. And then the only thing that can top that for me in a sports week is it's the NCAA tournament, which is my favorite, and I think I will die on the idea that objectively the best sporting event in the entire world. For those who don't know, it's a 64-ish team tournament with the best-ish 64 teams in America. I say that because there's automatic berths for people who win their conference championships. And the cool thing about it is it's a one and done. So you can get hot on any given night of the year and beat the best team in the country. And that's happened. It hasn't happened so far this year. I think that some of the shifting waves in college basketball is going to take some time to realign. By and large, the higher seed teams are winning, which is what they're supposed to do. But again, anytime you have a best of one game, anybody can win on any given day. And that happens. The University of North Carolina, who I despise in most athletic ways, they lost to Virginia Commonwealth on Thursday, which was the best part of the day. Unfortunately, Duke has still won. I do have a bet outstanding right now that all 4 top seeds make it to the Sweet 16, and so that's kind of balanced by me wanting to see Duke lose with me wanting to make money. So after today, after they what is it yesterday or today? I can't remember. Duke won yesterday, yeah. So they're through, so they can lose out the rest of the way. I don't care. I like to see them go home, but I think I need Arizona and Florida to win today, and I'll cash in on that one. So keep your fingers crossed for me, and enjoy another day full of basketball, everybody. How about you, Joe? What's your happy place?
There's a special place of loathing and hatred for March Madness and the college bracket tournament in my heart from childhood, because I have always been a big fan of the reruns of television shows that TBS has in the evenings. And March Madness was always an absolute awful nightmare in the days before like streaming and services and alternatives to television, like linear television, because they just took over all of the good evening time rerun channels with their garbage sports nonsense that I don't have any interest in or any care for, and would honestly be pretty happy if it never existed in the first place. So that's a special place of loathing in my heart for disrupting my Big Bang Theory reruns in childhood.
So, A, just because you don't like something doesn't mean that it shouldn't exist for other people. And B,
it should be on better on less important channels. Put it on other channels. I wouldn't have cared.
It is on one channel of like a network. The rest of them are basic cable. So I would argue that they're not that important. But B, Big Bang Theory is objectively awful TV. And I hate seeing it, but I also don't wish that it was buried, because some people do like awful TV.
I don't have any problem with the March Madness truly existing. I just wish that they didn't take over. And it was on two. It was always on TNT and TBS. It took over both of the Turner channels.
And True TV.
I don't remember. I'd never watched True TV.
So not Turner channels, Paramount channels these days, but it was Turner
channels.
I'm
talking about the past. I'm saying in the past.
CBS conglomeration.
Yeah, in the past, when this was a problem for me, now I don't really care, because I can watch Big Bang Theory on HBO Max or whatever you want to call it, whatever it's called now. I don't remember. They keep changing the name.
HBO Max. But they changed it twice.
Yeah.
3 times.
Yeah, exactly. So I, as I said, hated it as a youth because I wanted to watch my Big Bang Theory reruns, because that's what we do. My family's approach has always been, we have a nice little TV in our kitchen as my entire life. We always had a TV in our kitchen. We would sit down 6 o'clock somewhere in that window, put a Big Bang Theory rerun on for like most of my life, because it has been on since 2007. Big Bang Theory started in 2007. I was 14 when the Big Bang Theory started. I've had the Big Bang Theory in my life more than I didn't have it in my life. And we would watch the reruns, or before that, it was Raymond or whatever other TV shows. And they were always on TBS, and it was our dinner time television. And March Madness always got in the way. And that was very frustrating for me as a youth.
Womp
so
womp.
My happy place this week, though, is actually our date night movie. Jing and I saw Project Hail Mary. Have you heard of and or seen this film?
So yes and no. You're usually really good with this, but I will caution you, I plan on seeing it. So try to keep, I have a general idea of what happens in the movie, because they haven't exactly hidden it, but try to keep the spoilers to a minimum, please.
I really wasn't going to talk about the plot. I was just going to say that I saw the movie. We both really enjoyed it. I don't talk about plots of things that just came out. I don't want to. I'm debating talking about the plot of the game that came out 4 years ago that I finished, that I took off the list of what I've been playing, but I forgot to. I didn't mean to the God of War, but anyway, yeah, it was good. We both really enjoyed it. It was fun. I think that it is a good to great movie. It is not the same quality as someone who is a huge fan of The Martian, which is a book by the same author who wrote Project Hail Mary. I don't think it's as good as The Martian, but it is definitely up there with like quality sci-fi films. Are you a fan of The Martian?
I like The Martian. I've only seen it a couple times, and I have not read the book. But
I've not read the book either. Yeah, but just the book. The guy behind that book and movie is the same guy who wrote this, who's behind this original, the book for this movie. So
my biggest problem with The Martian was it's kind of lonely watching a guy make his own potatoes out of his own poop. But it was a very good movie. I hope that Project Hail Mary is a little more lively. I will counter if you've not seen the movie, and I may have talked about it in this podcast before. If you like that kind of fixing the apocalypse type of movie, Sunshine. It's about 20 years old now. In the day, a who's who of people who were going to be stars one day, including one person who was a big star at the time. Hold on one second.
Yeah, you've
I
not
don't want
talked
to get
about
the
this
cat.
one. I've not heard about it either. But
So
I'll...
essentially, the sun is starting to die. They sent a crew on the Icarus, I believe it was, to go and reignite the sun. It did not work. So this is the second team. So these are people who, with the exception of one, were not famous at the time. The one person who was famous at the time is Michelle Yeoh, who is like otherworldly famous, and she really was at Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon had already come out, and so she
Mhm.
was already gigantic. What year was this?
2007, it says.
Danny
I just looked
Boyle.
it up.
Yeah, 2007. So gosh, 20 years ago. Danny Boyle, who does great movies.
Written
But
by Alex
Killian Murphy,
Garland.
was that?
Written by Alex Garland.
I don't know his name, but
He's the one who did. He's the 28 years guy.
oh, okay, yeah, he and
28 days,
yeah, so
28 weeks, 28 years. Civil
that's Danny
War.
Boyle also. So yeah, the two of them are a team. Um, but if you look at the cast, Killian Murphy, Rose Byrne, Chris Evans before he was Captain America, Benedict Wong before he was in Doctor Strange, Mark Strong, who later was in the Kingsman movies, just an amazing cast. I mean, the the physics is hokey, but it's fun. It's like, don't
Yeah.
go into there thinking that we're going to restart the sun with a nuclear bomb, because that probably is not something that is possible. But it's fun and it's a good movie.
Cool. Yeah, what I like, I liked this one a lot, the Project Hail Mary a lot. I don't know if I liked it because it was a save the world movie or just the general, spaciness of it. I like spacey movies sometimes. I think space movies make for good films. I will say that what I did not, I won't say I didn't care for it. What my biggest issue with the movie, with, again, without spoiling anything, is I feel like there were points where it was either inconsistent with something that had happened earlier, or there were just a few too big of a logical leap for like how something was going to happen, like how something happened or why something had to happen. And it could have been just them glossing over it because, it's a 2 hour movie or 2.5 hour movie, and they just didn't go into every single little detail about everything, but as they were doing it. But yeah, it just, I feel like everything that happened in a movie like The Martian was clearly explained, made perfect sense, and I mean, literally, Matt Damon's character sits and talks to the camera, explaining exactly what he's doing in that movie. Like, and that was not something that happened quite the same way in this one. So that was a small detraction from me, but overall, really, really a great movie. And Jing really
I,
liked it too.
I think Ryan Gosling's great. He's one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
The Nice Guys is one of
Oh,
my
Nice Guys
favorite
is so
movies
good. I
that
love the
like
Nice
nobody
Guys.
ever knows anything about. It's a fantastic movie,
It's
and the
so
difference
good.
in Ryan Gosling and Matt Damon is that Ryan Gosling is a different level of charisma than Matt Damon is, and
Yeah.
he can keep anybody interested in what he did. I told people that the only problem with the Barbie movie is that Ryan Gosling overshadowed everybody else in that movie, who all did a fantastic movie, but Ryan Gosling was over and above everybody else.
I really liked the Barbie movie as well.
I did too.
I personally prefer, in terms of the I like Lady Bird more still. Have you seen Lady Bird?
Mm-mm.
That's Greta Gerwig's first big movie. And I think Lady Bird is absolutely incredible as a movie.
Was she the Hurt Locker?
No, she's not the Hurt
Somebody
Locker.
else.
That's
Okay.
somebody else. Yeah. But Lady Bird is amazing. I loved that film quite a bit, and I liked Barbie as well. But Lady Bird was just special to me. I don't know what it was about Lady Bird that I loved so much, but it was her second director's role, and her first as a solo director, and then she did Little Women after that, and then Barbie. And I have some concerns over her upcoming movie for Narnia. I don't know if you're aware, but she is making Chronicles of Narnia currently for Netflix.
So a TV show?
No, it is a Netflix film.
I mean, my biggest issue is that it's too soon after the previous one was half-assed that they're making a new one. If you're going to make Chronicles of Narnia, just go ahead and
Too
approve
soon.
the entire book series.
What do you mean too soon? It's been 16 years.
That's too soon before you reboot a classic book series. Like, yeah, it's too soon. The old ones still stand up.
They do stand up. I'm gonna gloss over your redo the book series comment because those books are phenomenal. But
Not redo the book, redo a classic book series in a movie.
I
They're
see.
I mean, these weren't the originals, the ones that were in like the 2010s. So, like, they
No,
don't
there was
need
like
to
a
make,
there's like a 70s version from England or something. Yeah,
yeah, just like The Hobbit.
right. Well, in any event, I like Greta Gerwig. As a filmmaker, I also really like the Narnia books. I do not know how Greta Gerwig and her brand of her outview of life is going to match up with uh, heavily Christian inspired mythology for a fantasy series. That'll be interesting to see, but I'm still excited nonetheless.
It's a fantasy series. You can make it as Christian or as non-Christian as you want to.
It is. I just don't know how well it's going to honor the message of the books because
C.S. Lewis isn't around to complain.
he's not, but the fans are, and there are definitely fans of those books, like myself, who appreciate the messaging in those books. I don't know. We'll see. Again, I'm going to watch it just because I respect her as a filmmaker. I think that she could do justice to it. I just don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Because, I mean, Hollywood and people in Hollywood have a tendency to take things that people love and do terrible things with them in general. See Rings of Power for Lord of the Rings, or see Starfleet Academy for Star Trek, or see anything Disney Star Wars related. You know,
I mean, I don't know. I like the newest Disney Star Wars trilogy. So
I think you may be
sorry,
the
not
only
sorry.
person I've ever heard say that.
Nope. The second one of them is one of the better movies, and all three are better than the prequel ones.
Oh my goodness. I just can't disagree more with any of that.
Oh well.
Oh my goodness. I think The Last Jedi is one of the worst films I've ever seen.
I enjoy them.
I'm glad you enjoy them.
I think Rey is a great character.
I think Rey is an underutilized character. I think they're all underutilized.
Oh, I agree with that 100%. They could have been better.
Yeah.
And that's a whole different area. Boyega, whatever his first name is,
John Boyega. Finn.
They could have done a lot more with him. Like,
for sure.
They left breadcrumbs the entire time that he could have the Force, and just a regular guy.
Yeah. Again, that's part of the problem with it, is that there's no through line. It's not a good trilogy of films as far as I'm concerned.
The prequels are more awful. There's no perfect ones except for the first three, 4, 5, and 6.
I enjoy the prequels, and I can say that without nostalgia because I only ever saw Star Wars for the first time in like 2017. But I enjoy the prequels because I think that they present a more interesting setup and world than even the originals do, to be honest with you. I don't find the original world that interesting.
Star Wars 1 is the worst Star Wars movie, and it's not even close.
I find it fun.
Find it fun. It is not good. There's room for fun movies.
The
Other Guys is a fun movie. It's also
a fun movie too. That's Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell.
Step Brothers, fun movie. Not a good movie, but I enjoy it every time it comes on.
On my list of movies that I wish that I had seen, but I've never seen, Step Brothers.
Step Brothers is very good.
The reason I've never seen it is because I missed it in theaters, and then it was always censored on linear television, so it wasn't worth watching.
You cannot watch it on linear television. You have to watch it on some kind of a streaming service that is not censored, because censored, it's like a 15-minute movie, and like you have to see the real thing, but you're missing out on so many things, like the Catalina wine mixer. Like that's a pop culture thing that you just have to know. And that's all I can say about that, because we want to keep this accessible for other people and not just people who are 18 plus.
Sure.
So yeah, I think we've run that into the ground in the spirit of moving forward. How about we get to the news?
Yeah, let's do it. First up, we're going to start with a story that I think Byron and I will both be pleased with, interested in. I don't know, but as Byron and I are both big fans of the franchise, let's begin with some fun news. Ubisoft's live action Assassin's Creed TV show on Netflix has started filming and announced its. Whoa, my spot just. I was. Sorry, my spot in my script just vanished for some reason. I don't know why. Uh, Apologies. Let's try that again. Ubisoft's live-action Assassin's Creed TV show on Netflix has started filming and announced its cast and setting. Per VGC, Ubisoft has confirmed that the show will take place in ancient Rome in the year 64 AD. While the cast does not have any major stars attached to it, at least none that I recognized anyway, the biggest name is Noomi Rapace, the Swedish actress most famous in the English-speaking world as Elizabeth Shaw from Ridley Scott's 2012 Alien series film Prometheus. Byron, Assassin's Creed live action. It's like, how have we never done this before?
I don't know, but
That was
the first thing
that
I'll
was a
say,
joke because we did do it before.
oh, I don't remember it then. I remember there was a movie, wasn't there? With
Yeah, there's a movie. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Michael
and it was bad.
Fassbender.
Yeah, who also starred in Prometheus.
This is true. Also
But,
started Prometheus. That's right.
I want to
David.
bring out that Noomi, like you said, English speaking, but I do want to specify that she should be best known as Elizabeth Salander in the original and in always better version of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which is what got her name out there. And that's somebody who absolutely loves pretty much all of the Alien movies.
Right. Well, I said Elizabeth speaking or English speaking world. Is that
and I
an
confirmed
English?
that.
Is that an English word one or?
I don't remember if it's in English or not, but it's phenomenal. It's much better than the Daniel Craig one.
I've never seen either.
Yeah. Yeah, the original is very good. The Daniel Craig one's fine, but I don't know. I will keep an open mind. If it gets good reviews, I may check it out. I've got a long list of TV shows that I haven't had time to watch.
Yeah.
I'm pretty ticked off at Ubisoft for canceling now the name
Mythic Quest.
Mythic Quest, yeah. That I'm pretty ticked off that they canceled that because I thought that was a cool show. So I don't know that I have any belief that they or Netflix, who also is known for this, running a TV show until it gets interesting and then just killing it off. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, I think this will be. It has potential because it's Assassin's Creed, and I think Assassin's Creed's always had more potential, and Ubisoft's never really known what to do with it. I am honestly somehow both excited and disappointed. Ancient Rome is my favorite historical time period. I love Ancient Rome. I've read books about Ancient Rome. My very last class in college that I needed to pick was a random elective because I just needed more credits, even though I had enough to meet my degree. I just didn't have enough to meet graduation. And I picked an Ancient Roman history class. Like, I absolutely adore Ancient Rome. And so it'll be fun, I think, to see a movie or a TV show for Assassin's Creed set in that era. But I have always wanted an Ancient Rome game. It's one of the reasons I love Assassin's Creed 2, because it's in Italy and you get to see, Italy and Renaissance Italy, which is fun. But I would love to have an Ancient Rome game a lot. One of the things that's interesting about this time period, because I checked on this, with 64 AD, is we're feasibly in an era, which I don't think they're going to do it because Ubisoft doesn't respect their canon enough to do this, but we are feasibly close enough that somebody who these characters work with could have possibly had Amunet as a mentor, which would be really cool. Do you remember Amunet?
He's the one from is it Mirage?
No,
I can't remember the
it's
name
also
of
a
the one
woman.
that's in the desert. Okay, then no.
Origins is Bayek, and it's
that's what I
Bayek's
meant.
wife. Bayek's wife.
Gotcha.
So you're close. Yeah, you're close. Yeah. So it's right. It's within spitting distance of Bayek's wife because she dies in like 12 BC or something. Like it'd be old. It'd be like a really old person. It would have it'd have to be someone in their like 80s who would to have known Amunet, but it would be possible, which would be cool. I think.
Temper your expectations. At the very most, expect an Easter egg that shows up for about half a second somewhere in a background.
Yeah, I know. I know. I love the Assassin's Creed lore and the world and everything, and I'm very excited for Hexa, and I am so excited for the Black Flag remake. I'm gonna be all in on that when it eventually comes out. I just really, really hope this is good because I don't think that the movie from 2007 When is that movie from? Do you remember when the Assassin's Creed movie is from? I don't recall.
No,
I want
I
to say
don't.
7, but that's too
It
early.
was
Maybe it's
it was
2012.
after Prometheus because it was after Michael Fassbender became a name.
Yeah, it was 2016. I was way off. I was 10 years off. 2016. It's been 10 years since. Yeah, I thought it's not a good movie, but I don't think it's as bad as people say it is. So I have hope. I don't necessarily have high expectations, but I have some hope. Any other thoughts on this before we move on?
Nope.
All right,
I
over
will
to
wait and
you.
see. All right. This week, Nvidia at their conference announced DLSS 5, a full version update of its deep learning super sampling feature on the RTX cards. DLSS 5 purports to be a game changer for supporting games providing better details and lighting effects. Critics, which includes most of the internet, says that DLSS 5 adds details that designers never intended to include, such as makeup that Grace from Resident Evil 9 forgot to put on when she left the house. Nvidia has countered, saying that complete control of DLSS 5 is with game designers. Um, I've been a big fan of DLSS. I think that especially when you got to 4 and 4.5, it's done some great things. For those of you who don't know, super sampling is a way of sampling more pixels than you display on your screen to reduce artifacts, to reduce jaggies, and make things look more smooth. With DLSS, they're leveraging AI-esque features of machine learning to let you run at a lower resolution, and so you have better frame rates, and then project in a bigger resolution by using the AI to decide how things should look. And honestly, it does a fantastic job. Did you watch the videos about DLSS 5? And if so, what are your thoughts?
I have not watched the videos in any sort of detail. I've seen the stills from it, the screenshots, and the side by sides of everything. So I have some thoughts on it, but I've not bothered to watch the actual videos covering it. No.
It looks like it does an extremely poor version of motion. So in the videos from FIFA, which was one of the few, I guess, actiony motions that they showed, the ball kind of teleports around, which stinks, and the stripes on uniforms are kind of mosaicy. As long as they can let the designers pick and choose where they use it in a frame and not just for the whole frame, I think it'll be better. And if they let the designers have complete control, as they say, that's great. Because in my mind, some of the images looked fantastic. Excluding the feminization of Grace, I thought that her model looked fantastic with DLSS 5. Obviously, there were some artistic licenses used to enhance her image, which is a completely different discussion. But I think by and large it looked good, as long as the developers have the latitude to include and omit shadows and whatever else they want to. Then I'm on board, because I think that DLSS has been a game changer. It lets me, with a 40 series card, a 4070 Super, play most games at 4K, and they look really good, and I'm able to get a manageable frame rate for somebody who doesn't want to spend $2,000 on a video card.
The 40 series only goes up to DLSS 3 though, right? They don't, or they have
Nope,
like part of
that's the
4.
3. The 30 series does 3, and it may do 4 as well, but no, the 40 series is full 4.5 right now.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yep.
I thought that there was like the 40 series didn't do the frame generation.
It does frame gen. It doesn't do multi-frame generation.
Multi-frame gen, yeah. That's what
only
missed
50s. And honestly, the differences in the 40s and the 50s is minor. My intention when I bought the 4070 was it was going to be a stopgap until the 50s came out, because I bought it late in the life cycle. And then honestly, the 50s weren't enough of a jump in performance that I wanted to spend $1,000 on a 5080, especially with the amount of VRAM that it had. So I am where I am.
Yeah, they're supposed to be, the 50s, from what I understand, are supposed to not be as good as the 40s, simply because they're not as powerful with raw power. They're relying heavily on AII aspect built into them instead of having just sheer power.
No, that's not the case. The 50 series with the equivalent SKUs are better than the 40 series, but it's not that much. And when they
Okay.
talk about, like, they came out with some BS like, oh, well, the 5070 is equal in performance to a 4090, and that's crap. They were leveraging multi-frame generation and saying, oh, whenever we use multi-frame generation to quadruple the frames that a 5070 can do, yeah, it's better than a 4090.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
but yeah, no, they're better. They're just not that much better. I think most of them you're
Yeah.
looking at about a 10% uplift, which in my mind isn't worth
Hmm.
the buying a new card.
Yeah. So I guess my thoughts to answer your question on this are I actually agree with you for the most part. I think that the model enhancements I think they're undeniable. I think that they are undeniably improved models. They look better. It's whether or not the artistic style can remain consistent with it. Like I think Grace looks better for sure. Like her model is obviously a better character model than the other one. Did they need to change her face like that? I don't know. Is that an artistic choice? Did the developers choose to change her face, or is that just the result of the AI program running over her character model? I don't know. But the model
Yeah.
itself is better. The Starfield models look awesome. The Starfield models look so much better than they do in the base game from just a little bit I played and the bit that I saw when I watched it. And then we'll talk more about Starfield in a little bit. But yeah, so I thought it was very, very impressive on the whole. The question remains, like you said, where will developers, will they be able to choose where it's implemented and where it's not implemented? My question is, how much direct control will they have over the result of it? Because I I don't mind Grace looking the way that Grace looked if that's what she was supposed to look like. If they intended to make her gussied up, okay, then good job AI tool for making her gussied up. I don't know,
Well,
but I
I'll
doubt
say
they
that
intended that.
I don't think they intended that. Grace is an FBI agent. She is going to look at a murder scene. She is not going to the club. And
Right.
my experience with women in my life, they decide to put on different kinds of makeup or not, depending on what they are doing. And if they were going to an abandoned hotel looking for signs of ritualistic killings or whatever it ends up being, they probably aren't going to spend much time on their makeup.
Um, and I agree with you that women tend to choose the appropriate makeup for the appropriate setting, and I doubt that she's gonna go and put all the gloss and sheen on herself to go look at a murder scene like that. But I don't know. I'm not the developers. I didn't design her. So my point is, if the tool helps the developers more directly match what their vision, what their intention is, I think that's good. I think that you have to be careful with some of them because it has to still fit with the world. So as much better as the Starfield characters look, it they're applied to the character models only, and so the rest of the background, if you look at the pictures, like the background still has that cartoony Bethesda creation engine feel to it. Like so they almost stand out as they don't belong there. So you need to keep it consistent. That's what I would say. It seems like it's a useful tool. If the developers are able to keep the appearance consistent and it's helping them achieve what they want to achieve, all the better for it. Uh, and that's pretty much it. As we've always said, or as I've always said, when it comes to the AI, I don't really have a problem with the AI being used to do things. I just worry about people having jobs. I don't want anyone to lose their jobs. That's my biggest concern. As someone who has lost a job before, that's a terrifying experience. I don't ever want anyone to ever have to go through that. So that's where I stand on the AI piece here with the DLSS
And
5.
I'll add to that. I think there needs to be laws and regulations as to power consumption, resource utilization, and how it weighs against normal citizens.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And more than just a pledge.
Yep. All right. Speaking of Starfield, rolled into this. Reminder: Starfield is like a 5-year-old game now.
It's 3 years old. Thank you. It's as old as Baldur's Gate. Yes, Starfield is alive, everyone. Bethesda has revealed its first major update and DLCs for the beleaguered open world spacefaring RPG since May 15th, 2024, which introduced quality of life features such as city maps, ship interior customization, and new gameplay difficulty sliders. The Free Lanes update, according to IGN, brings, quote, freeform interplanetary exploration and space travel within star systems. Actual space to travel rather than being trapped in bubbles where flying didn't lead anywhere. The article continues, points of interest will be sprinkled throughout, hostiles may be on the prowl, and you can run into hotspots to dock into and explore on foot. Your ship can boost towards points of interest you lock onto. Combine that with setting your ship to autopilot, and you can step away from the cockpit to take care of business elsewhere on your ship. Your ship will automatically magnetize and drift slowly around your target location while cruising. There's a whole lot more, but it sounds like much needed improvements to the base game. Sorry, end quote. There's a whole lot more, but it sounds like much needed improvements to the base game, and that is out now. The other major piece of content revealed is the Terran Armada DLC, per the Bethesda website, which has a new storyline with new ships, incursions to face, a new companion, and more. Free Lanes is available for free, while Terran Armada launches April 7th for $10, or free for Premium Edition owners. And finally, the game is launching on PS5 on April 7th as well, with a base game for $50 or a premium for $70, the latter of which includes all the DLC released plus the new content at that point. Byron, Starfield is not dead.
I mean, they did all this because they're putting it on PlayStation and they need a reason to get people to buy it. But I'm cool with it. I hope. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Starfield is a very good game trapped inside of a poor box. It needed more time to bake, and they rushed it out. I think one of the interesting things that I saw about Starfield is Starfield was designed obviously as an Xbox game, and they rolled themselves up in the AMD framework. So it works best on Radeon cards and used Radeon technologies. And I think I remember seeing that they're going to be using Nvidia technologies in this one as well. So you'll be able to use DLSS on it. It's called back to the original, which is a nice added thing. Like it or not, Nvidia cards are still probably 70% of PC usage. So
yeah, they're much more popular.
Yeah, so I mean, I get why you would do AMD because PlayStation and Xbox are both based off of AMD stuff. But I think that's cool as somebody who uses Nvidia.
There's part of me that thinks that AMD would die if it didn't have contracts with PlayStation and Microsoft.
I don't know if that's the case. There's a lot to unpack there, which is probably outside of the bounds of this discussion, and may could use an entire segment sometime in the future. But no, Starfield is good, and I hope you get the chance to play it. I hope that they fixed all of the problems. I may give it a shot. I got
which problems are you hoping they fixed?
The biggest one is the inability to complete quests. That frustrated me, and that's why I put the game down.
Oh, like broken quests, like
broken quests. Like there's one of them where you have to collect. I'm trying to remember exactly what they were. They might be like fragments or echoes or something, and I wanted to get them all before I beat the game. I ended up beating the game and rolling it back into a save. Spoiler for everybody who's not already played Starfield, the game is designed to be played multiple times over, so you beat the game and you don't actually beat the game. You start over similarly into New Game Plus, New Game Plus Plus, New Game Plus Plus Plus, and it's different each time. They really tried hard to make that special. But I got frustrated because I was trying to collect all of these echoes or whatever before I finished the game. And then when I couldn't do it, I said, well, nuts to this, they'll fix it eventually and I'll be back.
Part of the reason I haven't played, other than just I got sucked into Baldur's Gate 3 at the time, and I just never, and I heard all the criticisms of Starfield, so I figured I'd wait until they did more to it, is exactly that New Game Plus thing. I am kind of fear paralyzed into whether or not I should burn through the game and just get the main story done and then do a New Game Plus run, or if I should play like I normally would and save the main game for like the very end and do everything else in the world. And I can't decide which approach I should take.
From playing it and playing a small amount into New Game Plus, play the full game, because the playthroughs are different, and I'm not going to say much more than that. The things that you can do in the original game may or may not be available in New Game Plus.
So don't run through it and start New Game Plus. Okay.
Don't run through it. No. Enjoy the side quest. Have fun with the game. There's a lot to do in it. You can play the regular game and feel fulfilled,
That's probably what I
But
would do. That's the problem, is I would not do a new game plus run. I would not experience a new thing if I don't
and
set myself
like
that
I
way.
said, I've played maybe like 4 or 5 hours of New Game Plus before I just stopped doing it. And I haven't been back. And like part of it is frustration, but part of it is I spent a lot of time in the base game
Hmm.
and I got a lot out of it. And again, it's not a perfect game, but I enjoyed Starfield.
Yeah, I really hope I have time to play it. I won't play obviously until the Terran Armada DLC and whatnot in April, and then it'll probably wait until May because I'll be out of town in April. But yeah, because I already own the premium edition. Like I bought the collector's edition. I have it installed like here, so I will definitely not be. Don't smile like that. I definitely won't buy it
You're a
again on
mark.
PlayStation right away. I'm a mark, yeah, for sure. I'm a
Yeah,
mark, yeah, I am. I'm a mark. I won't deny that.
at least you admit it.
Oh, for sure. So yeah, I'm excited to hear that this is happening. And to your point about this, they come to PlayStation, they needed a reason to sell it on there. Todd Howard has said that Starfield's not done. Like this is just a new thing. They're still going to keep trucking along on making new content for Starfield. So I don't know. We'll
Well,
see.
hopefully Hello Games is rubbing off on everybody.
Yeah, it does seem like this is a pretty major improvement, though. Like a couple of things that they talked about, I was like, really, there was no chest in your outposts. You had to like go to each outpost for individual storage. Like what? Yeah,
Yeah, I don't remember that. So, I mean, it's been a while though.
yeah.
I
I
played
look
it at
forward
launch.
to I look forward to getting to it someday. I also have to get to Cyberpunk 2077. That's on my list. I have so many games to get
Another
to.
game that started out crappy and they put in the
Yeah,
work to make it good.
which is why I think of it all the time. Yeah, exactly. But all right, well, Byron, over to you for our next story.
Yeah, kind of on the heels of what happened with Epic and Apple last year, Sony has been presented with a £2 billion lawsuit, money not weight, in the United Kingdom, accusing them of excessive and unfair download charges. Anyone who purchased a digital PlayStation game or in-game download over a period of 10 years ending this February could be eligible for compensation. The plaintiffs claim users faced restrictive license conditions that prevented them from seeking to bypass the controls and obtain digital content from other places. Quote, the result is that Sony can and does set the retail prices of such content itself without facing any retail competition for digital content. It allows it to obtain monopoly profits from digital distribution, setting retail prices as what it refers to as its target margin of an excessive and unfair 30%, above the level of the digital wholesale prices, according to a BBC article. Um, Obviously, you are an American attorney and not a barrister, but I'd love to get your thoughts on this. It feels a whole lot like what happened, I said, with Apple and Epic Games, is that you can't limit the market that you're restricting people to.
Yeah, so as we've discussed previously with Apple and Epic, they actually Epic lost the lawsuit against Apple. They won it against Google. The only thing that they won on Apple was the anti-steering provision, which said that Apple can't prevent Epic from directing people to go other places. Like, hey, go over here instead of over here. Like they're allowed to do that. Uh, Apple is not allowed to prevent Epic from doing that. They did not break the walled garden of the Apple market the way that they broke it for Google. And that was some legal distinctions insofar as the way that Google makes its operating system available to others versus the way that Apple keeps it as a true walled garden and doesn't make it openly available. The openness of Google is actually what comes to bite it in this case, or in that case, and why they lost in that regard. So there are some differences there. The main thing here is it really depends on what British law says. I don't know what British law says on the matter. As you said, I'm not a barrister, so I do not know the finer details of British law, but there is a chance that Sony could be violating some level of monopoly protections in the UK by not allowing others on its platform. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, obviously, is up for discussion. I don't know. I don't think that that last quote characterization is really fair. From whoever said the part about it allows them to obtain monopoly profits from digital distribution, because it says that it's 30% above the level of digital wholesale prices. We don't know that. because the game is sold for the same price everywhere. So they're not marking it up. They're taking a cut, but they're not marking the price up. Which is
And I didn't put the name of the person who said it, but the quote, the link will be in our show notes.
Yeah. So the difference there is a markup is saying this is what we sell to PlayStation at, and they're going to charge 30% more. That's not how they're doing it. They're making it available on the storefront. The developer is setting the price that they want it to be set at, and Sony says, all right, we're going to take 30% of whatever you set it at. So there's no markup here. There's no raising of 30%. So that, if that is the case, and that's key to how this is structured, that could be a big harm to the plaintiff case here. Does that make sense? Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm sure it'll all be sorted out by people in powdered wigs.
Probably. Or people without powdered wigs, and then they settle.
I think you have to wear the powdered wigs all the time, though. Whenever you get up, you have to put it on before you leave.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I'm not sure how negotiations look in the UK.
I'm pretty sure they don't have to if they meet outside of court. They might have to wear pantaloons, though.
But I think this is an interesting case. I also was really confused when I read your story because you wrote L2B, and I was like, what's L2B? And then
because I couldn't find how to make a pound symbol. Like, I know how to do it on a Mac or an iPhone. I don't know how to do it on a PC.
I just Google pound symbol and copy and paste.
I knew what it was.
It's an alt code somewhere, I'm sure. I don't know what the alt code is for it. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what that happens with. Obviously, the UK is not America. It's not Australia. It's not the rest of Europe. It's the UK. Yeah. So what they do is going to be their own thing. And maybe we have a bespoke PlayStation store in the UK, or a bespoke PlayStation where anyone can put anything on UK PlayStations. You know, who knows? It'll
be interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Back to you for the Falcon Punch news.
Yes, of course. We've got a very quick and sad headline palooza this week with layoffs and game shutdowns / support ending, just to keep everyone up to speed on what's happening. So we'll start once again with Ubisoft. Ubisoft ends game development at Tom Clancy-founded developer Red Storm Entertainment. Crystal Dynamics has laid off 20 more people in its fourth round of layoffs in the last year. Sony is shutting down Firewall Ultra after 3 years, one of only 2 VR titles it published, the other being the offline single-player game Horizon Call of the Mountain. Remedy has released its last major update for failed live service FBC Firebreak, but insists the game will be playable for years to come.
I'm glad to hear it's finally playable.
Huh?
I'm glad to hear it's finally playable.
Because I don't want to be a total downer, I'll add that Archetype Entertainment, the studio founded by former BioWare / Mass Effect developers and owned by Wizards of the Coast, gave a first look at combat and exploration gameplay for Exodus. It's Mass Effect. Yay! And then Byron added story here. A Sony engineer announced plans to include versions of AMD's FSR in the PlayStation. At this time, there are no details if FSR will find its way to PS5 Pro or upcoming PS6. Do you have anything to add on that story there?
Nope. It was kind of a hit and run type tweet. There's not a whole lot of information about it, but I think it's cool that they can, even without the potential software support, they can add it in, or hardware support, they can add it in via, I guess, software.
Do you want to explain what FSR is for people who don't know?
Yeah, FSR is AMD's version of DLSS. Up until FSR 4, it was really second fiddle to DLSS. It's still not as good, but it's much closer with FSR 4. It's more usable.
Yeah, my understanding was FSR 3 and below was kind of bad, like almost actively bad.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Was it better than nothing? I don't even know. I've never used it because I haven't had an AMD card in 10 years. But I suppose the FSR 4 is good.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll move on to what we've been playing. Byron, you want to give us the rundown here for you? Start there.
Yeah, so I said that I'd be done with Dragon Quest VII. That was a lie. I maxed out all my character levels. I maxed out all my character jobs, and I just need to go finish the final dungeon at some point in time. I mean, I guess
how much of the final dungeon do you have left?
The end. I'm assuming the end.
Are you at the last boss?
There's like 2 bosses, one off to the left and one up at the top, something like that. So I don't know. I just got to find time to do it. Can't be much longer. Um,
You're gonna have you're gonna know what the final fight is because it's of course it's the final fight, and then the final
yeah,
fight
I know what
before,
it's supposed to be.
and then the fight before that is super duper hard, and I struggled with it. That one took me a few tries. The
I
final
did it
fight
a
is
few
easy.
times and it was annoying, but I'll find time eventually. Um, I stream Nier on Thursday. Nier is interesting now that I'm playing as 9S. I was told this is when Nier gets good, and it is interesting. The biggest change to me was all those stupid treasure chests that have littered around the world that I couldn't open, that I didn't know why I couldn't open it, and I thought it was dumb that it was locked out for me. 9S can just open it. 9S is a crappy combatant, but he can hack about anything, which puts you into a top down limited frame shooter where you can use your little spaceship to shoot other shapes and then hack them and do damage, which is a neat thing. I'm pretty decent at that, so it, bullet hell games are not so bad as long as there are patterns that you can dodge. But most importantly, and the reason why I haven't touched Donkey Kong this week is, as promised, if Final Fantasy Tactics ever goes on sale, the new version, the Evil East Chronicles, if it goes on sale on the Switch, I will buy it. And it went on sale this week for 30% off on the Switch. It also went on sale for the Steam Spring Sale, which is what I predicted would lead to a sale on the Nintendo Store. It is 30% off on the Steam Store. I have gotten two people to buy it who had never played it before, so Square send me free stuff for increasing your sales numbers. But Final Fantasy Tactics is still amazing. It is still probably my favorite game ever. It is fairly close to being a perfect game to me. It's got its little rough spots. You do have to grind a little bit if you don't want to be limited in your jobs. But of all the games that I've ever played, I don't think any game has the quality of narrative that Final Fantasy Tactics does, and that's what separates it from any other role playing game and probably any other game. And with good reason. I may have mentioned this before. They completely stole the plot from the War of the Roses, which is one of history's greatest stories. So when they built it around that, this is the War of the Lions. Um,
But this
it's
is
just
not
so
the War of
great.
the Lions edition. Like there's a lot of stuff
No,
from the
there's a
War
War of
of
the
the
Lions
Lions.
edition.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the War of the
yeah. So
Lions
there's
edition has more stuff. Like this was not a complete version. This was like a remake of the original.
it is a remake of the original, which is just a weird place to be that they chose not to include all the additional things.
It's Square. It's not weird at all.
It, like I said, I love this game. I was not willing to pay full price for it because it is a remake of a PlayStation One game, but at 30% off, I bought it. I think that it. I don't know that I would want to play it on a PlayStation or my computer, but having it on a Switch where I can carry it around with me, or somebody who has a Steam Deck, I think that it is a fantastic pickup because it is very much battle based. So you could do a battle, play for 10 to 15 minutes, and then put your game in suspend mode and come back and do it later and feel good about yourself. You don't. There are cutscenes that you have to watch through if you have any intention of knowing what's going on in the story that is complex. But it's very much can be a bite-sized game, which I think is perfect for a Switch, perfect for a Steam Deck. Um, Less so for a cell phone because I do own an iOS copy of it, and the touch controls just suck, and that's why I never played that. So
Mm.
having the joysticks is useful. Yes, Final Fantasy Tactics, awesome game. Everybody go buy it. Square recognized me as one of your cheerleaders.
Yeah, I really, really hoped when the Nvidia leak happened and we knew that this game was coming that it was a proper remake and it would be something I'd be interested in. But I just can't stand any look. Like the look of it is so ugly to me. It looks so bad. I can't
You
stand. I can't stand the maps either because there are some games like the Dragon Quest HD 2D remakes and whatnot. Like I'm like, ooh, that really tempts me. Like they don't actually look too bad. I'm not a big pixel art guy, but those look pretty. Like they look pretty nice. And then this one, I'm just like, this looks ugly as sin. I don't have any interest in it.
I mean, I know you don't like pixel games. The character models are gorgeous. they are one of the best looking pixel based games. The world or the level maps, I get what you're saying. That's an intentional design choice because of how you have to move your pieces around, because it is a tactics based game. If you
Yeah.
pretty them up and make them smooth, you're going to have trouble knowing about height differences and seeing where your characters can go. But again, like the gameplay is very good. The gameplay is even excellent, but the story is where this one gets its best features.
Yeah, that I know. That's why I was so disappointed as someone who really likes stories sometimes, that I'm never going to play it or experience it in maybe 20 more years when they remake it again. Maybe they'll do it properly.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's an argument that it wasn't done properly. I think this is a fantastic version of it.
It just looks like a remaster of it, is my point. It doesn't look like they remade the game.
Oh, it is. I mean, they throw out around different words to cater to whatever they think they can get at any given time. I mean, I've made my thoughts on remasters and remakes known, and it just depends on the game. And I like the biggest thing for me on this one is having a game that I can play on my Switch. I can take it with me and do it. And I was ready to revisit this game. It's been, I mean, this is like a 1995 game. It's been 30 years. So
it hasn't been that long since War of the Lions, though. War of the Lions is newer.
No, correct. But I don't know that War of the Lions came out for the Switch. But this is a very good version.
War of the Lions is 2007, so it was on PSP, iOS, and Android.
Only 20 years.
Yeah. 19.
Yeah, I think I've said enough for this, for games that have been out for 30 years.
Okay.
10 to 30 years. How about you?
Yeah, I'll take it from there. So I finally finished God of War Ragnarok. Now, Byron, where did I leave off last time when we talked about this? Because I don't want to talk too long about it.
I don't remember specifically. You and I have had conversations since then.
Yeah.
You talked about liking how Atreus, which one is the Neverending Story? One of them is a Neverending Story. One of them is God of War.
Atreus is in God of War.
Yeah, Atreus is Neverending Story. Then you enjoyed how he played more than you enjoyed how Kratos played. But I don't think we got too deep into the plot.
Okay, so I have finished the game. I also went and I did the Valhalla DLC. Did you do the Valhalla DLC? I mean, you've got your platinum, but did you go and get the DLC, the Valhalla stuff, the roguelike stuff?
No, I started it and I realized that I don't like 3D roguelike stuff. I like 2D. So it was okay.
I don't like roguelikes either, but it's not that long. It's only like 2 hours. You could probably knock it out really quickly. It took me 4 or 5 runs to beat it, so it wasn't much. All right. So we're gonna open up spoilers here for anyone who hasn't played God of War Ragnarok. So just a spoiler heads up here, because I want to chat with Byron a little openly on this one and say some things that I thought and just have a conversation. So spoiler warning for everyone, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoilers. Okay. I thought that was a really good twist. I thought that the Thor that we rescued in Svartalheim being Odin for real. The Tyr that we rescued in Svartalheim being Odin was a really good twist. I thought that was really clever. Did you see that coming?
No, I did not. I did. So whenever we talked about it, I went and reviewed stuff about it because I remembered that it happened. And I remembered part of it, like when you go back and look at Tyr's cell, there are raven feathers in the cell. And I'm sure some people would have seen that. And I saw somebody on Reddit saying that his girlfriend picked up on it, like she was watching him play and said they didn't spell Tyr's name correctly. Like they didn't use the accent whenever Odin was talking as Tyr. And they said, I bet that's not really Tyr. And it's like some people are really observant.
I noticed that too. I just thought that it was a choice to not do it in the name caption. Like I thought that was just a choice. So I didn't read into it too much, but that's funny. Yeah, I thought that was a really good twist. I enjoyed the ending of this game for the most part. I think that this game is mistitled and that I think they messed up the pacing of the game in the end. I think that this game should have been called God of War Fimbulwinter, and they should have had an actual God of War Ragnarok where the Ragnarok part isn't a 20-minute sequence of you just running in a straight line to fight Odin at the end. Like that's my biggest criticism of the story of this game, is that it had very little Ragnarok in it. And I thought, I knew it wasn't going to happen, but the way it was being set up was like, oh, we're going to have to go to all the realms and gather our allies that we've made. And it's like, nope, everyone's going to come to you and you're not going to see any of them anyway. They're all going to gather in Asgard. Huh?
Yeah, you know they're there.
Yeah.
They assist during the battles, if I remember right.
No, not really.
I thought you saw like artillery and such coming in. Maybe not. Maybe I'm misremembering.
I mean, maybe it was in the background or something, but you never interacted with anything.
Yeah.
My biggest complaint about this game, and really this duology, maybe even the franchise, but at least the duology, is there are so few people. There's so little interaction with things. I don't feel like I ever get attached to anyone in this world, like Skilder, right? Like the Midgard boy that you meet in Asgard. He's in like 3 scenes, and you're supposed to be so upset when you come across him injured badly in the Ragnarok battle. And I'm like, he was kind of funny for a little bit, but I never talked to him. Like they cut out the character piece that doesn't involve the main pair or trio, if you want to count Freya. Like, you just don't see interactions with other characters, really.
And that seems to be a choice, because
it is
when you're in, is it Svartalheim where the dwarves are?
They just run away. Yeah,
they're hiding the entire time. So I mean, there are people. They just intentionally aren't.
Right, and I don't like that. I don't like that feeling. It feels like a dead world, even when the world's not dead. In Midgard, fine. It's winter, it's frozen, it's dead world. Svartalheim looked gorgeous still. It would have been nice to see some dwarves around.
Yeah, maybe that was a performance issue.
I don't know.
They couldn't have extra models. I get it. Like, it was less of a problem for me than it was for the game that we played that I didn't beat. I'm at the end of, that was a Obsidian game.
Outer Worlds?
No, the one before that was Medieval.
Avowed,
yeah, that I didn't beat. It felt like an empty world to me. Outside of cities, there was nobody around. That
but
bothered
at least
me.
The cities felt like they were lively because there were people there.
Yeah. This didn't bother me, and I think maybe a large part of it is because the story is about Kratos and Atreus, and I don't know.
Yeah.
There's enough narrative involved that it didn't bother me.
I understand that perspective. I do. For me, I just personally like to feel that the world I'm in feels like there are people there. If there are supposed to be people there. If there's not supposed to be people there, it doesn't need to be lively. But this is supposed to have people. It's supposed to have, like, there's supposed to be a society of dwarves in Svartalheim. And the Aesir looked like the way that Asgard was done. Like, that was really cool when you do that initial walkthrough and you can see all the people living their lives. Like, I would love to have gotten to explore Asgard a little bit, but you don't. Like, that's you don't really see it. And then the Vanir planet is like, or realm is like, oh, there's no... it's just the 6 of us or the 4 of us or whatever it is. I'm like, that's it. That's all. Like, that's all I'm going to see here. So it just doesn't feel alive. It feels very, very dead to me. And that's unfortunate for a game that is so interesting and has this really interesting world. It suffers from what I call like the Mass Effect syndrome, where the world outside of the boundaries looks so awesome, but you can't go there and explore it. And I wish I could.
I remember cussing a lot about the number of bad elves who were spawning, and wanting them to like leave me alone so I could just get through my quest.
Yeah.
Related, unrelated.
So I liked the game a lot. I think it's very good. It's probably like an 8. I think it's an 8 in terms of game to me. Just because the presentation is so high. It could be an 8.5. I could somewhere there, if I was going to give it a proper score, maybe 8.5. It's not better than that. It's really great. There are a lot of parts of this game that are great. It pales in comparison to Horizon, of course. This is no Horizon. Horizon is miles upon miles better than everything that this game does, in my opinion.
Different games.
They're better.
Completely different games. But I have trouble saying something is better than something else that are not comparable. But
I think it's very... How is it not comparable?
they're both adventurous, but like they're intended to be different games with different different highs and lows. I think I'll give you that Horizon is probably a better all round game. I if I were to rate them, I would not say that Horizon is a significantly better game. Um, I think they're both fantastic games, and I mean, I hesitate to put it on a rating scale, but it would be like a half point difference to me. I
Yeah,
think God of War is that good.
yeah. Horizon's like a 9.5 to me on a score. And this is, like I said, like an 8 or an 8.5. So it's a point or a point and a half difference for me. So it's not terribly far away, but it is a step up enough that I would jump into another Horizon game without question and pay full price immediately. And I'm very glad that I waited for a sale for this game just because of how frustrating I find the combat. I also think that the pacing of the level experience in this is bad because it, like, by the end of the game, I felt really powerful and I was doing much better at combat, and I didn't feel like I was any better at playing it. I just was so much stronger. I just had more
Yeah,
strength to me.
there's two different kinds of games. You can either out level the game or you can get good. Those are some of the Dark Souls games let you skill up
Yeah,
your character and get better gear, and then some I think like Sekiro was it Sekiro
Sekiro.
where
Yeah, you just have to
the
get good.
option was get good.
Yeah,
The
I
enemies will
don't.
continue to level. So sorry.
I don't think that this is. I don't know what this one is because I just think it was. I just don't think it was very well paced out for gear. Like by the time I got into the very last thing, I was getting Asgardian ingots everywhere. I mean, I went from my gear being level 6 to 9 in like one upgrade session. Like it was like it took nothing to get them from like the middle to the top end because you just were given all of this stuff all at once. I was like, okay, thank you for finally releasing the content so that I can level up my gear. And before that, I was just locked into this like really weak state. It was so strange.
Well, we talked about this last week. I agree that some of the leveling of your
Yeah,
equipment was frustrating.
yeah.
But again, this game is a game that I thought about playing when I wasn't playing it, which is my best way of saying that I like a game.
I thought about playing. I thought about the story while I was not playing it. I will say I was intrigued and engrossed in what was happening. I still think Freya is my favorite character, and I would love a Freya game because Freya is just awesome. She's an awesome character there. But overall, enjoyed the experience. Glad I played it. Glad I didn't pay full price for it. Also, but
Cool.
I really am happy. I'm satisfied with this game.
Good. All right. What else you got this week?
Yeah. Next up, I finally got to really dig into Greedfall. This game is weird sometimes, and I will say. So I played about 3 hours of this game previously, right? Like that's what I had said when I started. It was 3 hours in. I didn't touch it between that play session and this last few days because I was just trying to get God of War Ragnarok done. I was really engrossed in that story. I didn't want to like learn the Greedfall mechanics and then forget everything about Greedfall because it's a CRPG with real time with pause, so it's complicated. Uh, I just hit, or I'm just before 10 hours on my in-game clock of playing it. So 7 hours, it's a nice chunk of time added on. I finally am no longer under the quest heading called Prologue. So I don't think this game is supposed to be that long. I think it's like 50 hours or something, but like 10 hours of this game was considered the prologue of it.
Wait, just real quick point of order. Like, you don't consider a 50-hour game to be that long?
No.
I consider a 20-hour game to be like on the upper ends of short. If a game takes longer to beat than it does for me to work a week, then I consider that to be a pretty long game. And the games that are like 120 hours, that's just an extended game.
So a short game is Uncharted. It's 10 hours, 12 hours, maybe 15 hours. The Resident Evil people who are playing it at, Resident Evil 9 that are saying it's like, oh, it's 12 to 15 hours. Like, yeah, it's a short game. That's a short game. If I can play it over a weekend, it's a short game.
Yeah.
And then a good length game. And then a long game, sorry. So that's short. And then after that, you're at like, average length, medium length game. I would say anything between like 16 and 40 hours is an average length game, like a normal length game. And then a long game is longer than 40 hours, but not a particularly long game. Like a
But
noteworthy long game is when you
did you
hit
say
like
50 or 15?
50,
This one.
50.
That's what this one was. Yeah, that's a long game, right?
It is a long game, but it is not it is not noteworthily long. It is not particularly long. Like I'm talking, there's like three windows. It's like 10. It's 1, I guess, to 15, 15 to say 40, and then it's like 40 to 80, and then once you go over 80 hours, then you're in like a very long game. Like that's like noteworthy long.
All
That's what
right,
like
continue on.
Yakuza games
50
are end
hours.
up for me.
50 hours is a lot of playtime to me, but
It is.
go
It
ahead.
is a lot of playtime. I'm saying it is not a particularly long game because it's on that lower end of long game spectrum, and also it's an RPG. It's a CRPG. I mean, I can pull up Pillars right now. Let me pull up Pillars in my library, and I'll tell you how long. Pillars of Eternity took me 90 hours, and Deadfire took me 110 hours. Like those are very long games. Those are very long CRPGs. This is not that. Is my point. Like that's what I'm getting at. So it's at 50 hours, and for the prologue to be 10 of those hours was a lot. Was what I was trying to get at.
Gotcha.
um,
20%.
but the funny, huh?
20%.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, so you start off in Tier 4D, and then you end up in Gakon, the continent, and the prologue doesn't end when you get to there. That's the thing that I was confused by. So the prologue zone that I guess you never go back to is done about 6 hours in or 7 hours in, and then you have 3 hours of the prologue quest continuing. But I think you're in the actual world at that point. I think I'll be able to go back to these places that I was started in. I was just being railroaded along until I finished the prologue, and I'm still very early in this game, obviously, but I have some additional thoughts, and I want to say that if you like Greedfall 1's story, and if you like it for the lore, this game is like your dream. This is a dream game for a Greedfall fan who's just really invested in the lore of this world, because without spoiling how you get there at this point, I'm in Ushantis, which is the capital city of the Nauts, and the Nauts are this race of seafaring people who like are completely neutral in all conflicts. They're total mercenaries for ships. Like they just sail your ships. You pay them, they sail your ships. They'll sail your goods, they'll sail slaves. Like they will sail whatever you want. They do what they do because that's what they are. And it's interesting because that's a unique culture, like a seafaring people that own, like they're just the neutral farriers of people across the water is what they are. And I'm in that city now. Yeah, like the Dutch, sure. And I am in that city now, and that's a city that I remember hearing about it. Like I remember hearing about it in the first game, talking about their homeland or whatever. And so my understanding is I'm going to get to see more of these places and more of these cities, more of these capitals and whatnot. I haven't gotten to any of that yet because I am early in the game, as I said, but I like this game a lot. I do. I like this game a lot. It has problems, though, unfortunately. It still has the stench of early access. It still has bugs and quirks to it. For example, I'm playing as the female Vridinger, who is the character's name or nickname, and she will be referenced as he periodically because they didn't have the she voice line in there. Sometimes a quest will bug out and like you can't so I had to do a tracking thing, and I got to a check and I like failed the check, and I was going to reload to try and succeed the check to like make the tracking easier. And even in my reload and in my prior saves reloading, like the check just wasn't there anymore. Like it just failed across the past. I just couldn't find the check, so I ended up having to just move on, which was fine because I knew where I needed to go anyway because I'd already found it. But so it has these little bugs. I did have one crash. It crashed once on me in the middle of combat, which was unfortunate. But this game is so good, and also still needed probably another like 6 months to a year of development time to be fully ready for a proper release. And it really sucks that it's not going to get that. And I hope that Spiders will get to continue developing it even in full release here. But I don't think it's going to help its sales numbers. I don't think this game is going to help Nacon. I think that this world is probably dead, like all fantasy worlds that I love dearly, which really sucks to think about because this is so cool and it's fun. The combat is it's like playing Dragon Age Origins. It really is, playing on a controller and playing it like that. It feels very similar to it. It's got some quirks that I'm like, why is there not just a single button to hit to get everyone to attack my target? I have to, like, there's a command, attack my target. I have to go find the command to do it. Like, that's silly. Sometimes the camera bugs out when you're in tactical mode trying to move your camera along. You have to exit tactical mode and re-enter it to make it work again. I still have my complaints about the dialogue system where, like, it doesn't tell you things that you've talked about before. But Byron, one thing that I think you'll really appreciate here. You know how we were just driven up the wall by Outer Worlds where it's like, you don't have the skill to do that, right?
Yep.
This game doesn't do that. What this game does is it gives you a percentage chance. The higher your skill, the more likely you are to succeed.
That's cool.
So even if you have 0 diplomacy, you can still make a diplomacy check. You may only have a 15% chance of succeeding, but you can still try.
But if you can save before you do it, who cares?
Exactly. That's exactly the point.
15% becomes 100% real easy.
It does if you want to do that. But not everyone wants to do that. I like having the option to do that. And I absolutely do that all the time. I'm constantly reloading. That is one of my criticisms of this game, is that the load times to load into the game are super long. It's like 30 seconds to load into this game.
That shouldn't happen on a modern day computer.
But everywhere you go in the game, I'm playing on PS5, but everywhere you go in the game does not take that long. Loading up zones, opening, like anything you do once the game has loaded, it's done. It's just reloading a save that takes a really long time. I don't know why. Yeah, it's very strange.
Optimization is why.
Yeah, it's a very strange problem to have, but you're not supposed to be reloading constantly like I am, but I will. Open this chest. You only get one attempt to open a chest. If you fail, you don't get to open the chest. I'm not going to miss a chest. I'm going to reload until I get my chest open. You kidding me? Of course. So that is one of the weird things about it, is the load times are long. But overall, this game, it's still really pretty. It's still, the character models could have a little bit more detail on, like, the lip syncing and whatnot. That's a little bit off, but I think that the voice acting is still really good. Even the more characters I'm hearing and the more English that I'm hearing now, because I'm not on the Tier 4D anymore, I'm actually hearing them speak English instead of the native language there. It's really good. The natives have this cool accent that they give. I don't really know what you would describe it as. It doesn't quite fit like what you would imagine a Native American Indian accent to be when they would speak English, because that's what their real life analog is. So it doesn't quite fit that, but it's a really fun accent. And they have this just cool timbre in their voice. I don't know. I really like the voice acting in this game a lot. And I think that there's a lot of potential in this game. And I say potential because I just haven't played all of it. I don't know how much of that potential is going to be realized by the time I go through it versus how much of it is going to be left on the cutting room floor. I don't know what they're going to do for improvements. I just hope that this game has some modicum of success. I was checking the Steam charts for this game, though, before, like, the other day, and it was not looking good for Steam on SteamDB. They were, let me see, I'll see if I can pull it up really quick here. The player count for it is an all-time peak of 943 people playing it on Steam. With an up and down, pretty consistent, like 450 people playing it over time. Yeah, like it's pretty flat. It goes up and down over the course of the week. It's like at night it goes low and then it goes back up and then it goes low. Yeah. So I don't think it's doing too hot on PC, which makes me sad. I don't know how it did on PlayStation or Xbox or anything like that, but yeah, it's a shame. I did buy the bonus content from them, like, because they gave me the free the standard edition for the review copy. I did give them.
Paid the extra, yeah.
Yeah, I paid for the extras because I wanted to support them somewhat, because I really do like them and their game here. I'm looking at, like, their maximum history. I don't know if this game was never popped like big on Steam or whatever, but like their highest player count on launch day was 375 people whenever they made it available, and then they averaged like 20 people a day for the last like 2 years while it was in early access. So I guess it's never been particularly big on Steam. I don't know. I don't know where the money came from, but it had no marketing. Like, it has not been advertised at all. I've not seen trailers or commercials for it. It makes me sad.
CRPGs are also a not high user base.
I know. I really think
Baldur's
that
Gate is an exception.
I think they shot themselves in the foot because the first Greedfall was never crazy popular on Steam from what I saw. Greedfall 1 on Steam DB shows player its all-time peak was only 16,345 people. So even that never did a crazy high amount of players on Steam. And that only lasted like a week, and then but it averaged 500 players for a while looking at it. And even there were more people playing there's almost as many people playing Greedfall 1 as there were playing Greedfall 2 on Steam since 2 launched. But it's a huge shift. Like, if you don't like CRPGs, you're not going to like this. Like, you will not like this game if you don't like a CRPG. It is a real-time with pause CRPG through and through. So, unfortunately, don't know what the future holds. Publisher going bankrupt. Game not selling as well.
No, you know what the future holds too.
Sad.
Nobody's lining up to buy this one.
Yeah. Well, keep an eye out for my review for it. If you're interested on Season Gaming, I will be writing one. I don't think it's going to be a video review. I've been taking some video clips on the PlayStation just in case I decide to try and get it as a video review for it, but I don't expect that. I'm not anticipating one. We'll see what happens with it. But yeah, that's Greedfall: The Dying World. I will be playing that today. Like, that'll be my game for a while here. I want to say before we move on to the last thing I've been playing that I've not played Crimson Desert yet. I know I'm really hyped for Crimson Desert. We don't really have any Crimson Desert segments or talk in this episode, so I want to talk about it for a moment and say that my Crimson Desert Collector's Edition didn't ship until after the game launched, and I'm really sad, but it's not arriving until like Easter, basically. So I don't know. Hopefully I'll be able to play it there.
So I'll say something about Crimson Desert. It sounds like they're having some problems. I have a friend who has returned Crimson Desert. There has been responses from the developers promising that they're going to fix a lot of the problems. It doesn't support Intel GPUs out of the box, and Intel has made comments about that. And so they've kind of shot themselves in. Like, it's not that it's not optimized for Intel GPUs. If you have an ARC GPU, the game just closes. So they're missing out on, I don't know, 10% of sales with that from a computer perspective. But it sounds like Crimson Desert was maybe put out before it should have been put out, and it needs some work. So
yeah, so what I've heard two things. I've heard you either adore this game because of the freedom that you get and the complex and intricate systems, and it feels wonderful, and you're going to absolutely have a fantastic time. And I've also heard that it's either clunky and the controls don't make any sense and people hate them. You hate them and you don't move around very well, and the story is terrible. It seems to be it's sitting at like a 78 or no, sitting at 79 on OpenCritic. It wasn't 80 until IGN gave it a 6, and then it dropped it a point. Freaking IGN, and hurt my fantasy team there. I have read and watched a fair amount of information on this, and I can't speak to it not having played it, but if I can wrap my head around the controls, which I think I will be able to, I think I'm going to adore this game. I have heard that from some people that it's just biggest objective problem is the bugs, like you said, Byron, being out too early, and that there are a few bugs that cause some game-breaking issues, that cause some major problems. But it doesn't seem like everyone hit those bugs, and it doesn't seem like that detracted from everybody's review scores. Because this is a game where people are giving it like 6s or you're giving it like 9s. It's right in that big split, which is why it ends up in the middle. It's not one of those games that's like 7s and 8s across the boards and it balances out in that range. It's like really high highs and really low lows for people. I don't know where I'm going to end up. I'm still extremely excited. I was watching Lockmort, who's a person who works for Last Stand Media, and I follow on Twitter. We mutual follows on Twitter there. And I was checking his stream out about it, and he was showing off some crazy stuff that you could do in this game, and I'm like, okay, this still looks like this is going to be good. I'm very excited to get into it in a few weeks when I get my copy of the game. So
cool. Well, okay, keep us moving. What else do you have this week?
Yeah, this is the last one. I've said that because this is going to be quick. So Demio Battle Marked. Last night, I finally closed out the second campaign, which I haven't even played the first, but the Ice campaign on PS5. I got together with my Demi Bros, which is the little nickname we have in our Discord group, the Demi Bros, because Demi Bros.
I get it.
You get it, but the audience might not get it.
I bet they get it too. We have a smart audience.
So we have our little group, and we finally we were called out on by Lord Cognito in a podcast that he does. We were called out by him saying, "This week, boys, we got to get this done. It's time to get it done here because we got some new content coming. I got to get this over." So we got together last night and we finished the campaign. So here's a funny story about it, Byron. You ready? We wanted to start at like 7.
You didn't wait on an answer.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. I do that. So we wanted to start around 7 p.m. And because we were like, all right, we got to do this. We're in the third act of the campaign. We want to try and get it done tonight. We don't want to stay up too late here because we got blah, blah, blah going on, all these things. And we're like, okay, so let's start at 7. And then, I had to do this and Cog had to do that. We didn't actually get started till like 8 o'clock. It was like 8 o'clock, 8:15, 8:30, somewhere in there. We're like, oh no, hopefully we'll get it done in time, right? We haven't played this game in 3 months. We got to get used to it. We stopped last time because we didn't want to do the third act so late at night. We'll get it done tonight. If we don't, we'll try, but whatever. Okay. We start it up. We get into the game. We go to the area that we got to go to for the next quest. It's the final boss. And that was it.
Oh. Well, you're done though.
We were done. We had no idea that we stopped. We literally stopped with one boss left to fight 3 months ago. Almost exactly 3 months. It's 3 months from today, from the 22nd.
It happens.
And it was just so funny. We were gearing up for like a long session of needing to play and get this stuff done. It's one boss with 2 phases. You knock his health all the way down once, and then you have to knock it all the way down a second time. And that was it. It was done. It was easy. And then there was like one side quest that we ran off and did, or one or two side quests that we ran. Oh yeah. So we did 2 other things, which was the reason we did this is because they released the Warlock character, the Warlock hero, which is their first new hero in a while. And in order to unlock the Warlock hero, you had to beat the second campaign, and then they added an extra quest, and then you had to go and save the Warlock from itself. So go and save the Warlock, and now the Warlock is unlocked for all of us. And then we went and did one other really quick side quest. So we were done by like 10:30. It was like 2 hours we ended up playing to get that done. So we didn't play too much, but it's so fun, man. It's such a fun game to play. And they actually, for you, if you're interested in this at all and you don't want to play with people, they added the ability now to play as all 4 heroes by yourself. It used to be that you can only play as one hero and then you had 3 hirelings, but now you can play as all 4 heroes. Like your whole party can be 4 heroes at a time, and you can level all of your heroes up at once.
Cool.
There's more than 4 heroes, of course. I did. It was fun. Do you have any interest in this game? Does it sound like fun to you at all? Because it might be something fun for us to try to play together.
It sounds fun. Like if we made a concerted effort to do it, I would try to fit it in.
Okay.
If I would not go out and get it and play it by myself, just because I've got other things to do.
Sure.
And
I bought it just to play with this group of people anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's a potential.
Okay, cool. And that's it. I don't have anything else to say on it. I just wanted to shout it out. Shout out to Lord Cognito and to the Iron Rook and to Astro Pirate King, who were my party mates in
who all listen to the show.
I don't know if they listen to the show. Probably not. I'll promote it to them.
All right, let's move into the wild card that was yours last week that I deleted and went ahead and made sure was in there this week.
Yes, I fleshed it out a little bit more for you from what you wrote. But yes, our wild card this week with Solasta 2 entering early access 2 weeks ago. That's me side-eyeing Byron for anyone who is audio.
Womp womp.
Yes. And Greedfall, The Dying World leaving it at the same time. I thought we would chat about how we feel about playing games early. This includes early access games still in development, advanced access that is oftentimes found in deluxe or other premium editions, demos, or any other type of thing that you can think that is playing a game before its official launch day. So I'll start here, I guess, just quickly, and let you gather your thoughts, unless you have something you want to say right away.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I am not an early access person. I don't really ever want to play a game in early access because I play games once and don't usually replay them. And so the idea of going into early access and playing the first chunk of a game and then not getting to play the whole game and then have to go back and replay the first part of the game again and then get to go through the game to finish it doesn't really appeal to me. I'm not a game dev. I don't really think I have that much feedback that's worth giving to game developers. So early access just doesn't seem like something that's worth it for me. I will occasionally buy a game that's in early access as a sign of early support, like I bought Solasta 2, but I don't really have any intentions of playing that game until it releases next year. I just wanted to show support because it's cheaper now than it's going to be until it goes on sale in the future, because they'll increase the price when it goes into full release. So that's how I feel on early access of games. I also think that early access, I guess, has a bit of an issue in that you have to release it at the right time from early access, and that's Greedfall 2's problem. Greedfall: The Dying World's problem is that it still needed more time to cook. As much fun as I'm having and as much as I really like it, I can see that it wasn't ready. So it's unfortunate. If you don't have a good early access, you don't end up with a good game sometimes. If you don't have a successful early access for buying it, you don't always have the funds to finish the game, I guess, which is also unfortunate. Yeah. And then advanced access, which is buying those premium editions of games, as Byron has alluded to. I'm a mark. I buy fancy editions of games all the time. I very rarely take advantage of those opportunities. I'm not buying fancy editions of games for the early access. They just happen, or for the advanced access, they just happen to come with the game version that I'm buying. So it's a non-factor for me. If I have time to play, I'll play it early. If I don't have time to play, I won't play it early. I have particular schedules that I adhere to when it comes to what I'm playing when, and just because the game launches early doesn't mean I'm going to start playing it before I'm ready for it. I play it when I'm ready. And then demos. I like demos. I think demos are good. I don't always play demos because some games I'm sold on already, some games I'm not. The Dragon Quest 7 demo sold me on that game. Was really glad it existed. Same with Dragon Quest 11. Trying to think of some other demos I've played.
Well, real quick, I want to interject on that. One of the cool things about the Dragon Quest demo, and anybody who wants me to play their demo should do the same thing. Give me something for playing the demo. It doesn't have to be of monetary value. Dragon Quest gave you like two skins in the game for 2 characters. That was so cool to get that just for playing the demo.
Yeah. Yeah, I like when they do that sort of thing. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth had a similar thing where you could skip the demo piece if you wanted to, which I didn't want to because I didn't play it. I had Jing play it, and they also gave you like a little trinket thing. I didn't want to spoil anything for myself, so I didn't touch the demo. I waited till release day, and I had Jing play the demo for me because I have the best fiance in the world. So, yeah, I thought I like demos. I like demos as a concept. I don't always want to play the demos, but it's cool. Yeah, that's all I have to say, I think, right now without having conversation going. What are your thoughts on all this, Byron? We've never talked about this before.
I'll pick up a demo if it's something that I might be interested in. I've done it a couple times this year already. I don't pre-order. I used to pre-order when everything was disc only because I didn't want to miss out on a game that may be of limited quantity. But these days, like, if you're going to artificially limit the number of downloads, then screw you. You didn't want my money anyway. The games that I would pre-order would be a small number. It would essentially be Horizon and maybe Final Fantasy, even though I really haven't enjoyed 16. I guess that's the newest one. Mm-hmm. So that's moving more into like a case-by-case basis. In terms of early access, I have supported small devs, individual devs. to make sure they had money if it's something that I thought was very interesting. An example of that is Dead Cells. I got Dead Cells in early access, and I played the hell out of Dead Cells in early access. And then I still play Dead Cells from time to time. Well worth my money. I've bought DLC for Dead Cells. The other game that comes into mind that was early access that I got was Shapes 2. And that was because I thought Shapes was such a fantastic game. And I was just excited to have more of it. And I beat the game in early access. And since then, they have added on to the game now that it's in full production. I just need to go back and do it. But
it's hard because you've already played it.
I've already played it, but like there's additional content. And Shapes is one of those games where it ends when you want it to end. You can beat the content, but you can continue to make shapes throughout. It'll continue to give you random things to create. But yeah, it just depends. And I'm happy to do Kickstarters. I've never done a Kickstarter on a video game. I have done a Kickstarter on Exploding Kittens. I've done it with Rift Tracks multiple times. So I'm happy to do that to give people the capital they need to help push themselves over the finish line or to get a project started. I don't feel the need, like I said, with pre-orders to give Ubisoft or Electronic Arts or Microsoft or Sony the money they need to complete a project because that's the entire point of being a large publisher is that you have the funds to make those things happen. And you don't need to sit on my money when I could be sitting on my money.
What about the premium editions like Advanced Access? Does that ever tempt you? Do you ever pay extra to have a couple days early access for a game?
I have never paid extra to get early access. I have bought the game before it came out to get early access, and I remember doing that with Rift. And that got you like an extra 2 or 3 days or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of games.
Otherwise, I could, but like back in the day, they didn't. That was MMOs only for the most part.
Yeah.
Nowadays, so back in the day, early access would be if the post office accidentally got your copy to you before the embargo, or the people at the game store were willing to like go gray market on you and sell you the games the day before.
Yeah, they break street date.
Yeah. But nowadays everything can be electronically locked. You can pre-order a game, pre-download a game, it's encrypted on your computer, and they'll give you the key for it at midnight. So in general, I couldn't care less. I have enough things going on in my life that I have to worry about when I'll have time to play games, let alone find time to play games early.
Right. Yeah, understood for sure. Yeah, I'm the same way. It's a nice perk, I guess, if you're really excited for a game and you want to play it early, or you want to avoid spoilers for people who do play it early. But I just generally don't bother. It's not worth it. Occasionally, if a game I'm going to review has an option, I will buy that and play it early. Like I think I did that with Life is Strange, Double Exposure when that came out, because I was excited for that game and I love Life is Strange and I was going to review it. And I'm also going to review Life is Strange Reunion, which we'll talk about in a minute because it comes out this week. I don't know if that one actually comes out with early access. If it does, I probably should buy it and play it early because I'm leaving soon. That's a PC game and I need to have my PC and I got to write that review. I only have like a week to do it, but
you need a Steam Deck.
Yeah, you wanna give me a couple $100 or a Steam Deck?
Says the guy who has a 4090. No, you can handle it.
I have other expenses. I didn't have other expenses when I bought that 4090.
Also, you may not be able to find one, but that's a whole different story. One thing that I'll say is a game that may break most of my rules is the upcoming Castlevania 2D Metroidvania game. Just because I really dig those kinds of games. I like Castlevania, and it's by the Dead Cells team, so I know that it's going to be good. And if they fool me once, then shame on them. Fool me twice, shame on me. I won't repeat the problem twice.
Well, I hope you enjoy it.
I will. I'm sure of it. All right, good topic.
Thank you.
Want to roll into upcoming games?
Yeah, let's do it. Upcoming games here. Not a lot of note coming out. Kenna Bridge of Spirits is coming to Switch 2 on March 26th. I highlight that just because of the recent reveal of the Kenna sequel that looks really good. And then, like I mentioned a minute ago, Life is Strange Reunion comes to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and PC on March 26th. The conclusion of the Max and Chloe saga of the Life is Strange universe. I love Max and love Chloe, and I really love Life is Strange, except for 2. So I really am excited for this one. I've not seen any additional marketing for it other than the initial reveal, so I don't know if they've even had more marketing or how it'll do, but I will be playing it and I will be writing a review for it. Hopefully it's as good as Double Exposure or better. I really like Double Exposure. I think I gave Double Exposure a 9 because I really like Double Exposure.
By the way, all of the previous games are on sale on Steam right now, anywhere between 60 and 80% off. So if you don't have remastered Double Exposure or True Colors, you can get them from between $8 and $20.
There you go. There you go.
Cool. Good show.
That's it. 2 games, 2 upcoming games.
All right. Well, I will take us out of here. Where can people find you, Joe?
You can find me at Joseph_Law_Russa on Twitter/X. You can find my writing at Season Gaming as Don Lionheart. Again, keep an eye out for the Greedfall review and the Life is Strange review that I will be writing. I'm also technically assigned the Pragmata review. I don't know if we're going to get access to that one. We'll see. But I should be playing Pragmata hopefully soon as well. And yeah, that's it. What about you, Byron?
Well, real quick, like Pragmata doesn't sound like a you kind of game.
I thought it looked really interesting.
Okay, then I'm wrong.
Why doesn't it sound like a me kind of game?
It feels more like an over-the-shoulder action game, and that doesn't feel like the kind of game that you typically enjoy.
Isn't that what Horizon is?
No, Horizon is an adventure game with action elements.
It's an action RPG.
It's even more an adventure game than an RPG. Anyway, different
yeah.
topic, different time.
Yeah, I thought it looked good, so I wanted to play it and review it because it's one of the games that excites me. I like Capcom sometimes. I like Monster Hunter and Dragon's Dogma.
Real quick, I did see a story where Capcom is saying, related to a story from last week, that they think that PC will surpass consoles to become the biggest gaming platform in the world. And I hope that means Capcom gets their butts in gear, because the Resident Evil engine, like Resident Evil 9, has looked really good, and people have commented about how well it's running, whereas they've had problems in previous games like Monster Hunter on the PC. So hopefully Capcom gets their ducks in a row. But yeah, Radio Free Europe, 3s instead of E's on Blue Sky. I post rarely, but every once in a while. Yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Oh, sorry. Before we go, I almost forgot something I wanted to tell you. I'm sorry to cut you off there. Talking about games and smaller games and whatnot that you like. Have you ever heard of fakeportal.com?
Nope. I didn't know what that was. I saw you list it.
Yeah, I kept forgetting. I wanted to talk about it during the wildcard segment, and I forgot because I put it in the wrong spot. But so a lot of small games go early access, or for whatnot. So fakeportal.com is an indie game discovery tool. It's totally free. There's no cost for it. No one makes any sort of money. It's run by a guy who's a YouTuber called the Real Life Fake Wizard, and he is interesting. He's a fun guy. I like him. I've followed him for a little bit on social media and whatnot. But he does videos about things. But he's a really big advocate for indie devs and indie games, and every video he does has an indie game shout out that he just picks randomly from the Fake Portal Discovery Network website that he runs and created.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, I figured you might be interested in that. There's no money changes hands. It's just people trying to help indie games succeed. So
cool. Yeah. Well, with that, don't forget to like and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. Leave a comment. We would love to hear things you would like to see in future episodes, what you like, what you didn't like in this episode. Anything helps the algorithm and helps grow our user base and eventually makes us money. And don't forget, whether it's your gen, my gen, or someone else's gen, friends can be cross-generation. Goodbye, everybody.
Take care, all.